What's up, everybody? Nick, the comic book nerd here, along with Geeky Guy Comics. He is going to be on episode 4 of Origins. We're going to learn all about his story through how he got into comic books and how he got here today on YouTube and what he's been doing to be here. So, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Mate, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure of mine. I've seen you with the Grey Man, who's from the UK, Andy from Perpetual Comics, who's from the UK. So I've got high expectations to live up to, but I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you for letting me come on.
Of course, man. It's a pleasure to have you on. So I appreciate you reaching out and letting me know you'd be available. So you have a newborn, right? Is that what you told me?
I've got 3 kids. One of them,
wow, all right.
I've got an 8-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Very cool, man. I appreciate you taking the time away to do that.
So, it's a welcomed relief. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. It's always fun to have you guys on. I think it's so cool for me that I've had 3 guys from across the pond, and I only had 1 from the United States. But somebody's here already. What's going on, Nick? I actually put his list on my playlist. So hope you're doing well too, man. We got to get you on here, Nick. We got to talk. We got to get this going. All right, man. So I saw your video. I mean, the video you did last Thursday with David Byrne. That was sick, man. I don't know how you guys get people on like that, but that's incredible stuff.
Well, do you know what? It's kind of like, so Geeky Guy Comics started in 2018 after I went to a Comic-Con, and it started as, when I came up with the whole concept and stuff, it was that geeky guy that reviews comics. Because I was like, I haven't seen anyone like this in the UK. So then I was starting that, and then I kind of thought that's a bit of a mouthful. Like, who's going to type into YouTube and Instagram that geeky guy who reviews comics? And there was a bit and an ahhing, like, coming back, and it just came Geeky Guy Comics. That was it.
Very cool.
But it all started from, I went to a Comic-Con dressed up as Wolverine. And then I was like reviewing a comic that I bought at one of the stands, and the guy there was like, you could like make a thing out of this, because I was always reading comics and just like writing little notes and stuff and posting them on my phone and stuff. And then I was like, well, I posted one of them on Instagram, and it got like 30 views and likes. Done another one. I was like, I'm really enjoying this, and that was kind of where it is. And then now we're at Geeky Guy Comics. I've got the dream team as it is. I've got myself, there's Andy from Perpetual Comics, there he is. We've got Ben, the attention seeking geek, and we've got like the Scarlet Pimpernel, we call him, Tom from Not Quite Mint, because he's always working, bless him. He's so busy, but he's still part of the crew. So
very cool.
We just get the guests, that's it.
Very cool, man. That's awesome. So let's go into this, man. How long have you been collecting comic books for, if you had to say?
So, I mean, this goes back years. I mean, I'm 35 years old now, so I think probably around 27 years ago, when I was like 8 years old, my dad had a video record rental shop. And there's a place in London called Battersea, and it was there. It was very busy, and I was always in and out of there, like seeing what my dad was up to and stuff. And he started selling like secondhand comics, and I was kind of always into it. I was always into like the Beano, Dandy, Popeye. So I was always into comics. I'd probably say around about 7 or 8 I started collecting comics, but wasn't as into them as well. I'd never bag and board them. I'd literally read the comic, put it up, give it away, or anything like that. But it's only recently, in the last 4 or 5 years, that I've seriously started collecting again and really got back into it. Yeah,
very cool. We over here we used to have something called Blockbuster. You ever hear of that?
Yeah. The old blue and yellow card.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know if you guys ever had those, but what's going on, Burrito? Oh, that's funny. I didn't know if like you guys ever had anything like that. So when you mentioned it, I was like, oh man, did they have Blockbuster over there?
Yeah, we had that. And I remember they used to give out the paper cards. Yeah. And I remember I used to sellotape the whole thing front and back so it's laminated. And I was like, this is the gold card.
Yep. Oh, it's great. That's too funny. All right, so I mean, we'll still get into this. How did your love for comic books begin, would you say?
So I think it was all like, my dad always collected comics, and like people that know me, my dad's always had comics. I've always loved comics, and he's handed me down a few and stuff. And it kind of just got him from there. I mean, growing up, Beano and Dandy, they were 50p. I think there was even 20p comic books you could pick up. And it was full on. It was the Bash Street Kids, it was Dennis, it was everything. It was so good. There was Dandy, Popeye and stuff. So from there, it kind of just tail spun into getting into superheroes, Marvel, like the supernatural mystics and stuff like that. So it's just gone on, and yeah, it's kind of taken over my life a bit, if it was.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So you said you were like around 8. Your dad had everything to do with it. Do you remember what the first comic you ever read was?
The first comic I ever read, I think it was a Banana Man comic. Now he was a TV character, but it must have been a Banana Man comic that was, I think it was a pullout on a Sunday newspaper.
Wow.
Because over here in our newspapers we get like there's football comics in there that are just like little paragraphs, little 5 or 6 images. It's called like Striker and stuff like that, and I was
Okay.
always reading that. But Banana Man, he was my favorite superhero growing up. Loved him.
Very cool. That's funny. Was that like a so I guess that wasn't like a Marvel or DC kind of thing?
No, I don't think it was. It started out as a TV show, and it was literally as it was. Banana Man. He'd eat a banana and turn into this big blue and yellow superhero that had banana lapels on his shirt and everything like that, and his big superhero costume. He was a school kid, and he just went to school and he'd eat a banana. And
That's too funny.
Man.
This is true. He's never comes in here, and now he's finally in here.
He must be a fan. That's all I can say. He must be a fan of the UK invasion.
He knows what's up. He knows what's good. Did you ever hear of? I'm trying to remember what the show was called when I was a kid. You ever hear of something called Bananas in Pajamas?
My kids love it.
But
you know, but this is the thing, right? This is what annoys me now, right? Because obviously years and years ago you used to have Noddy, you used to have Bananas in Pajamas, you used to have Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Men. It's all changed now. It's all modernized. So like it's all been like 3D rendered. It's not the old and gritty TV shows that myself, Ben and Andy would know, like the old school ones. Now it's all like proper animated stuff. Do you remember Barney, the purple dinosaur? Like, that was wicked. There was a man in a dodgy looking suit. That's what it was about. That's what the gimmick was. Now it's all 3D animated. It's all animation. You're kind of like you've lost the part.
Yep, that's too funny. Do you remember the first comic book you ever personally purchased on your own?
I actually do. It was, where was it?
You still have it, you think?
I've still got some of them. I've actually got them here.
Okay, yeah.
These were posted in a second-hand shop, but these are like that we got.
Very cool. Hold on, I'm gonna try and figure out how to pull you up. Nope. This is the stuff I'm not good at. Andy, you tried teaching me this, and I did not do it well. Nope.
There we go. There should be 3 little dots in my thing, and you can see on the screen. There we go. But these are like one so there's like a comic book shop there. I'm not sure if it's there no more. It used to be called the Comic Books of Portobello in Notting Hill. It's quite a popular area in London, and it's like a second-hand comic shop. But I think when I started to get into comics when I was about, it must have been when I hit like 12 or 13. These were some of the ones that I picked up. We got. And these are the penny comics, the 10p like comics as well, and they're the oversized magazine ones as well.
Very cool.
I mean, I picked up quite a few of them.
Very, very cool. You were a Hulk guy, huh?
Well, I weren't, but I was just like, I thought I'd pick it up. But the thing is, when you asked me what one of my first comic books was that I picked up, I had to find these ones. I had to look through them, and I was well interested. So I spent like half the day looking at them.
Very cool.
Very interested in them.
You kept them in great shape too.
Well, yeah, I kind of did. Like my dad, I think I mentioned to Ben a while back on one of his streams that my dad used to keep comics in cling film. So he'd get a bit of cardboard and he'd wrap them in cling film because I don't think bag and boards, I don't think they was around at that time, but he used to get an old square bit of cardboard that fit the back of the comic and just wrap it in cling film. And it seemed to work because the comics that he's handed down to me are in pretty decent condition. Obviously, they're not white pages and stuff, and they've got bits like corners and everything. But that was just, that's how they used to do it back then. Southern Comic Geek, how you doing, mate?
What's up, man? This is funny, dude. You guys crack me up. The three of you kill me. You were on the solo screen. I put my shirt over my face because I was laughing so hard at Ben with the pajamas and bananas and pajamas. You guys, I don't know how the three of you keep a straight face when you do those like interviews with the writers and stuff. I have no idea because the three of you, I just look at you and I just start laughing. So I'm like, these guys are great. It's so funny.
The thing is, like, they take the mick out of me because my wife's a hairdresser. So while everyone was struggling with these lockdown bangles and stuff like that, I was getting trims every 2 or 3 weeks, and they're like, how are you doing this? And yeah, I put a bit of I got her to do me hair before I come on, because I knew I was representing.
Nice. You're one of the few people who could get easy haircuts during COVID. I got my first haircut last week in a year.
Well, to be fair, Ben and Andy get really good hair. They just do the all-in-one. They just go up, down like that. So they're pretty easy doing that. It's just all-in-one for them.
That's funny. Oh,
Takes them about 10 minutes.
That's so funny. All right, so who was your first original superhero? If you had to pick from, if you had to do it from like everything, so you said Banana Man. If you had to pick a Marvel and a DC hero,
Iron Man.
Okay,
it has to be Iron Man. And are we classing Harley Quinn as a villain or a superhero? Because she's an anti-villain now. Like the way that she's, I was struggling in my hair, monster. See what I mean? He cracks. He's hilarious. Just putting his little one-liners in there. That's what he does.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Batman. No, I'm going to go with Iron Man and Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn's changed over the years. Like she's kind of, and now she's on Team Batman, and that's. But Iron Man is, because I think growing up, looking at Iron Man, he's not your typical superhero. He hasn't got superhero powers.
Right.
He's basically a billionaire philanthropist that, if you aspire to be something, you can kind of look up to that and think, I could actually be that.
Yep.
If I set my mind to say I could actually be that, and I think that kind of appealed to children growing up. Like, oh my God, Tony Stark he's done it himself.
Yep.
And then Harley Quinn, she's a bit of all right, isn't she?
Yeah. Always mixing it up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys are too funny. We got to do a haircut. We got to do a haircutting show. Cole, I don't remember if I've ever seen you with short hair, Cole. I don't know if I've seen you with a haircut. This is what I mean.
Again, look.
Can't do it. Would you say that those are still some of your favorite heroes, or has it changed over time?
Do you know, I kind of, with Iron Man, like I love Iron Man. I do like Iron Man. But over the years, I've kind of, as you can probably see, my mate Batman made an appearance tonight. I do like, I'm old school. Like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I'm really not a Green Lantern or a Flash fan.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know why. I just can't get into it.
I can't get into it. I think it was when, was it Ryan Reynolds that played the Green Lantern? Like, what's he doing? Like, he's a good actor, but Green Lantern, they're characters like that I can't get into.
Yeah, that was like too serious of a role for him. I feel like, compared to like Deadpool, where it's like spot on.
Yeah, like it's just, but yeah, I'd say Batman, Superman, Iron Man.
Okay.
Wonder Woman.
Do you favor like DC more than you favor Marvel? You would say, or?
Well, this is it. So, like, obviously, I've got young kids, and we got Disney Plus, and we've got the whole setup. So, if we're sitting down, if they want to watch a film, I would rather set them up to watch a Marvel film, because it's more of family orientated. Like, there's obviously bits in it that's got adult humor and stuff, but Marvel, the way that they're pretty shrewd the way they've done it, because their comic books are kind of family. They're not really, they haven't done like DC Black Label and stuff like that. So I find myself watching more Marvel films and enjoying more Marvel films, and like the stuff on Disney Plus, like WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. We've got Loki coming up. But with the comics, I find myself reading a lot more DC. Okay. I think it's because it's more adult aimed. Like there's themes in it that you can kind of, it's more of a, it's a better read than a Marvel comic. And like if you watch the Killer Comic Show, me, Ben, Andy, Tom, we're forever talking about how many tie-ins are really needed in a Marvel comic book. I mean, King in Black, for instance, me and Andy was on the hype train. We was riding that train. I'm riding it. Andy's like, his hair's going everywhere as he's hanging out the top. And we was on that hype train. And then by issue 2, we had fallen off the wagon. The train had crashed, and we just abandoned it all. But then, there's still tie-ins going on. There's still like King in Black tie-ins. Like that ended 3 weeks ago. Yeah, so that.
Yeah. So when that crashed, is that when Andy's hair came off? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think he was so shocked. It was just instant. It just went, and that's his hair going away in the wind. Choo choo, gone. That's it.
Oh man, I meant to say it before, but I like how you kind of go from, you said Iron Man and Batman, because a lot of people, a lot of young people at least don't even realize that, like you said, your answer is perfect. There are two regular guys who just made themselves to be what they wanted to, no superpowers among themselves until they put the suit on,
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, like it's kind of like the anyone can. Do you know what? Don't let anyone tell you can't do nothing.
Right. Yeah, no, perfect answer. Well said. So I was gonna say, do you own any statues or figures? But
I've got quite a few. So I got Batman over there.
yeah.
Right, I got these ones. So I'm a massive pop collector. I like my Funko Pops.
Oh, very
So
cool. Yeah.
we've got like the neon black light Joker. We've got these are a few of my recent ones. Obviously Harley Quinn,
Very nice.
another black light one. And this one is blowing up in the States at the moment. I was quite lucky. I got this, but this is going for like $120.
Yeah, it's insane.
But why is that? Because I mean, sometimes with the Funko Pops, like you get exclusives and stuff, and we don't get them over here. But with Funko Europe opening up, it's kind of like, I know one of my friends, the Poptimist, he'll buy from anywhere. He'll buy from the United States. He'll buy from like Spastic Collectibles and stuff, which is a really weird name to have. And then you've got like Pop Culture in the States and in Canada and stuff like that. So he'll collect from over there. But with Funko Europe opening up, it's more accessible. You just have to wait a couple of more months for it to come over. But what a lot of people do, they jump on it. Oh, I've got to get it right now. And then you think you've just paid more than the actual pop is worth for the shipping when you can get it from the UK.
Yeah, if you just stay patient and wait.
But yeah, you can probably see I've got Funko Pops behind me. But these are the guys that I've recently got. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, very cool.
These are the one in 6 sculptures, but these are insane. Like the detailing on these, Nick, are amazing. Like we've got Donatello there.
Wow.
And obviously they've all got different things on the back of their shells, and like different eye masks, like the way.
Very cool.
Are we going to call that a nose? What is that? The top of the?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the anatomy enough of a turtle, but if you have to.
But Raphael's one, like if you look closely, you can see like obviously Raphael's the one that loves to tear up a bit more, but he's got like the scratches here, and he's got like chunks out of his shell.
That's sick.
I mean, these are so cool. Like the old ones of these, that came out, I think 2003. These were material, so like they would float around a bit more. You can manipulate them a bit more. But these ones, it's just. I know Ben's got I think he's got the Michelangelo 1:4 sculpture. The massive
wow.
one.
I am a big Donnie guy too.
Yeah, are we talking about Donny Cates or are we talking about Donatello?
Over your left shoulder there, what do you got? You have a row of Deadpool.
Yeah, I've got a row of Deadpool. We've got Stranger Things. We've got Big Bang Theory. We've got like the movie Toy Story type of things.
Very cool.
We've got random ones at the top. We've got Rick and Morty. Who doesn't love Rick and Morty, eh?
Yep, I love Rick and Morty.
We've got like your comic book superheroes like Fortnite and Overwatch.
Wow.
And over in that corner, we've kind of got like your Thanos, your 10-inch Thanos, your Pennywise, your Joker, Harley Quinn's got a whole shelf. You can probably just see about there.
That's awesome.
Like 15 of them.
What do you have? What do you have hanging on the wall there? Is that Iron Man and is that Loki on his right?
Yep. So that's the Loki where he gets the Tesseract. And he's holding the Tesseract, and when he takes it, it disappears. And then we've got Tony Stark where he's about to click and go, I am Iron Man.
Very cool.
And we all know.
Very, very cool. Let's catch up to this. Team Mikey. Uh-oh.
There's Team Mikey, look.
Oh, nice. Are those from like the original movie?
Yeah, so these are from the original movie, and obviously the sculptures have changed over the years and stuff. But yeah, like they're probably some of the like, and I've got like the DC, like Batman, Superman figures and stuff, and Funko Pops. Mm-hmm. These are really turning my head away from Funko Pops at the moment. Okay. Like you've got Shredder coming out, you've got the Foot Soldier. Well, you've got Shredder's already out, you've got the Foot Soldiers coming out that are already out, and then you've got April O'Neil. I think April O'Neil is going to blow up. It's going to be quite expensive, I think, because over here these are like £30 each.
Okay.
But I think April O'Neil hasn't been available yet.
Okay.
So when that comes out, everyone's going to jump on the bandwagon and I need that, and then you'll see stupid overhauled prices on eBay and stuff.
Okay. Do they sell those in your comic shop or no?
No. So I got them. My friend owns a website, which I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, he does. He owns a website, but you can't they're pretty easy to pick up. Like you can get them and stuff, and a lot of comic book shops. My LCS, a place in space, they sell like NECA figures, they sell like the Funko Pops and stuff. So if you've got a decent LCS, they'll be able to get them and you'll be able to pick them up. But I mean, they're pretty standard to pick up, to be fair.
Cool, very cool. The LCS you go to, is it like Is it like a big spot? Is it a big place or?
No, so I'm from a very posh area called Croydon. Mate, I'm joking. Croydon's a shithole. Right, it is.
Okay.
But no, it's all right. The comic book shop there is the only reason I go to this shopping district.
Okay.
It's literally, I've been going there for years. They're really good guys. They're like, and the thing that I like, if you want to add a comic to your pull list and you want to add it there, they'll keep it. And if it goes up in price, you'll go in and they'll give it to you at that price. They're not going to inflate it and stuff like that. But it's not a massive shop. It's just a really well located and fixtured shop. So you can go in, you've got your designation for your comics, your Bronzade comics, your CGCs, your figures, your pops, anything you want. So it's
cool.
just a good shopping experience.
Gotcha. It's like very well organized. Like the people there care, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I mean they're comic book collectors and comic book readers. I mean, you can go in like the Forbidden Planets, they're like 2 and 10 a penny, mate. Like you can go in there and they're just literally shop workers there that just pick up comics, you buy them, that's it, their job's done. Whereas myself, Andy, Ben, Tom, you got James from Comic Deal, we'll all go into a comic book shop and we want to spend time in the comic book shop looking around, talking and everything instead of picking up my comics and walking out.
Gotcha. This is funny. Is this like a true little fact there?
See what I mean? See? And like Burrito, nothing changes. Like honestly, nothing changes. I think 2 days ago someone was stabbed for a KFC chicken wing. For a KFC chicken wing. Weren't even a drumstick, it was a chicken wing.
Oh my god, this is terrible. Oh man, this is so funny. Have you guys well, you guys call it football, right? Soccer is football for you?
Yeah.
Are you guys all football fans or no?
I'm a football fan. I don't know if Andy.
You ever see the movie called Green Street Hooligans?
Yeah.
That's a great film. I was gonna say, is he calling you out like a Green Street Hooligans for him?
And we've got what else? We've got Football Factory with like Danny Dyer and stuff.
Oh wow.
That's a better one than Green Street because obviously you've got Bilbo Baggins playing like one of the villains, and you're like, well done. I can't imagine him as a football hooligan when I've seen his size 12 bare feet, hairy feet running through the Shire, and next time he's like with the West Ham Massive wanting to cause a riot. Like, but Football Factory is much better.
Okay, I gotta check it out. That's funny. It's good to know. I'm a Tottenham fan, man.
Oh yeah, you're a Spurs. I'm an Arsenal fan, so we need to cut this interview down.
That's right. Yep, it was good while it lasted.
But Bale got a hat trick at the weekend. He was on fire.
Yeah. So what platform do you like to use best? Like we kind of talked before the show. Like I want you to kind of tell everybody, are you like an Instagram guy, a YouTube guy, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch?
Also, I might have a Twitch, but no. But with the way I kind of look at it, right? So Instagram, I started on Instagram, and when I was doing it, I was literally posting 4 or 5 images of a comic. I was reviewing and writing a review, and then that was it. I was giving it like a Geeky Guy rating out of 5. As time went on, I found myself stepping away from doing the written reviews and just using Instagram as a feeder platform to YouTube.
Okay.
So if you look back, if you go right back to like October 2018, you'll see that my reviews were there. I was writing in-depth reviews, and then I was really enjoying that because that's where it all started. That's where it all come from. But now I kind of like, you'll see me just posting what's coming up on Geeky Guy Comics, and it's all about YouTube because I think there's 2 ways you can look at it. You can either, like, there's businesses to be made from YouTube and Instagram. If people want to focus on Instagram, they'll put the time in, they'll put the effort in, they'll get the followers up, they'll get the subscribers and whatever, and they'll make that their focus business, like getting sponsorships and everything like that. But I enjoy doing it. Instagram is the place where I use it as like a marketing content. I post on there and then I do my stuff on YouTube. But I mean, YouTube's great. Like YouTube for me, during lockdown and everything, I met some great guys. I met some fantastic guys, and then I met Andy and Ben. So there's plus sides to every coin and stuff, and but they're great guys. I love them too. But it is great. Like, I think it helped a lot of people. Like, because me, Andy, Ben, Tom, we've all said, if we wasn't doing this and we lived more locally, we'd be at a pub once a week, just sitting there, chatting shit, having a laugh, talking banter, talking about comics, doing what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And the fact is that we're doing it and we get like people watching and interacting and stuff. It's good.
Yeah.
But it's really weird
absolutely.
because I said to the guys, I said, if we was in a pub and there was like 15 people standing there watching us talk, you'd be like, what are you doing? But because they're doing it over a computer, it's all right.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I know, we have a great crowd today. I think it's so easy to communicate, and everybody becomes a part of the conversation on YouTube, because I think of the way it's easier to communicate with so many people on YouTube than it is with Instagram.
Yeah, and it's a worldwide platform, so we're talking across the pond and stuff. We can interact with people wherever we are, and I think it's just a great way to speak about comics, speak about your hobbies, and just get everything out. Because I've got a wife sitting in there, she's watching TV, she don't want to hear me talking about oh my god, there's a new Star Wars comic coming out this week, or Batman 108's got 27 variant covers. She's like, well, I don't care. But I can come on and here talk to you guys, I can talk to people in the chat and stuff, and I can let loose. So what's that?
Cool. Are your so your wife's not into, are your kids into the comic books at all, or are they just more into like the movies right now and the shows?
Well, I think because it's kind of been force-fed to them, to be fair. Like, they wake up every morning, they see Funko Pops, they see comics, they're sitting there watching Disney and stuff. There's comics everywhere in my house. Like, I've got them, I've got them on shelves, I've got them in long boxes, I've got them in short boxes and stuff. So they're slowly getting into it, but I don't know if it's because they like it or because it's become a way of life for them, because, oh, daddy does YouTube, daddy likes comics and stuff, shall I get into it? But I hope they do. Like, my youngest, the 2-year-old, he just looks at it as a toy to play with. The 4-year-old really likes Marvel, like he really likes Hulk, everything's Hulk smash and stuff.
Cool.
And my 9-year-old, he likes he's just started playing Batman on the Xbox, so he's kind of getting into it. I'm subtly feeding it in, which is what I want.
Yeah, no, you never want to force it, but really cool. This is funny. I don't understand. I can never. If Andy explained to me where he lived compared to like a certain area, and I was like, I don't get it, and I'm just not good at geography.
The good thing is, right, is that we are all coming together. We're going to Thought Bubble, which is like Andy goes all the time. I think Ben's been a few times, and it's a really intimate, small little Comic Con, because obviously we have like the MCM over in Victoria and stuff in London, and that's massive. Like, to bump in, I mean, you're talking about like 15,000 people there. To bump into one of your mates there, unless you've arranged it, it's not going to happen. Whereas Thought Bubble is more about spending time with like the writers and the comic creators and having like one-to-ones with them, getting pictures done and stuff. So we're all going to meet up in November. There's going to be me, Ben, Andy, Comic Deal. I think we've got Noob. I think Hydra Collectibles is coming. We've got Tom from Not Quite Min. There's a few others. We're all going to meet up, and I'm sure we're going to do a live stream. So YouTube, watch out, because November time we will be it's going to be banter, comic talk, collectibles,
very cool.
Everything. And that's going to be the first time we ever meet up.
Very cool. Oh, awesome. Very, very cool. He's always got something, man. Good old guy.
This is for peg leg.
I can't do this with the three of you.
That is it. You should have banned them before they came on.
I know, right? Not sure if they have golden books in the UK. Do you know anything about this? Do they have something like that?
We've got like what is it? I'm not sure if they have golden books in the UK, but my daughter has 2.5 and she loves them. I have some turtle ones. Yeah, see, I think it might not be called golden books, but it's probably like, we've got like these collectible comics where you can they tell like little individual stories. Like, I've got my little boy's got all the Avengers ones up there. But yeah, they're good. Very
cool. I like to see that, like, they can get, it's hard. Like, by me, like, you wouldn't know there are comic shops around unless you were like a comic book person, So
yeah,
this is great. Oh my god!
And that will only because Ben is in cosplay. That'd be the only reason why. It will be.
I love it, man. He gets into it. When I saw him as the vampire, that was awesome on Thursday night. What's your favorite part about the comic book community?
I think it's just the fact what we're doing now. Like, I love doing this. Like, I love being centre of attention. Like, I like talking to people. I enjoy the communication. I enjoy like meeting new people and sharing stuff and everything. But I think this is my biggest worry, was that after lockdown ends and stuff like that, this stops. Like, do you know what I mean? The communication, everyone goes back to doing what they're doing. I think if we can keep this going, like, even I think David Nakayama said it. He said, even with this going is enjoying it because they're not getting out to Comic Cons and stuff, and we're not getting out to Comic Cons and stuff like this in this time that we're living in. Nothing's ever been seen like this before. So the fact that you can do this, and I mean, we can interact. Like we've spoken a few times on Instagram and stuff like that, but the fact that you can just sit down and have a casual chat, I think this is the best. Everyone seems to be great guys in like the comic community and stuff. Like obviously you're going to get people that you really don't get on with, and you might think, oh mate, I want to have a bit of a tear up with you and stuff, but you get that system. Everyone's grown up. It's like you move on. There's more important things. We're talking about comic books at the end of the day. We're not saving lives. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But some people take it to extremes, and you're like, do you know what? It ain't worth it. You're talking about bits of paper at the moment, so that's it. Ta-ta, bye-bye. That's it.
This is very true. You wins everything, man. This is so right. I can't even keep a straight face. Oh my god, you guys are so. Wait, so the three of you have never met in person?
No, we've never met.
Wouldn't known that. That's too funny. Very cool.
We us three and Tom, we've shared naked selfies. Like once a week, we have this thing called we do the Killer Comic Show, and then Tom will always show up after we're backstage, and he'll be like, "Oh, I've just got home from work, and I'm in the bath," and we're like, "Oh, here we go again." So we all kind of. And it just, before you know it, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's just like all hell's broken loose. We've all had too much coffee and tea and Haribo, and Ben's chugging on a Magnum, and it's all going. It's mental.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
Disclaimer: none of that has ever happened. Just putting that at it.
That's not a Geeky Guy Comics After Dark. Not one of those.
Oh, there might be something in the works for that. You never know.
Oh, it's funny. What kind of a role do you feel you play in the comic book community?
I'm probably the lovable rogue that I'm kind of. We got a show over here called Catchphrase, and it's about you say what you see. Have you got it in the States? It's like there's a TV show, and they'll show a glimpse. His name's Mr. Chips. And he's always doing something, and the contestants have got to guess what he's doing. Okay. There's kind of no filter with me. Like it'll just come out, and. I'm probably known. Ben and Andy are back this up and a few others. I'm probably known as the Cockney twat. That's it. I enjoy what I do. I like my comics. I like being a geek. I like being a bit of a dick. Yeah, that's me. The enforcer, the geezer of the community. There we go. Yeah, I'm the Cockney geezer of the community. That's Say funny. What you see.
You're a straightforward guy. That's a good thing. It's so funny. Somebody asked me about that question. And I was like, because I like when I have people on here who I like to watch, and I was like, I think it's a good question based off of like, I feel that you guys all do something for the community. You know, Andy was so big on pushing channels, and I mean, you guys do the same thing, but I think that you just put out so much great content, and you just bring out such a fun like vibe for everybody to come watch, even when you have other people on. So
Oh, cheers, man. No, honestly. Yeah, the guy would stop and search just in case.
Oh man, look at this one.
Yeah, so this stuck because Sif Lordley, obviously the Spine Ticks King. He's got his own community going over there, so well done for him. I think he's pushing nearly 800 subscribers. He's absolutely smashing it. He came on. I think he was on. It might have been Panels and Pints. He came on an after show, and we just started talking. And before you know, it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and me, Andy, Comic Deal, Noob, Ben. I think you had Phil's Nerdiverse. We took over Spine Ticks channel, and we introduced all his guests, and we was just sitting there. I think it got to like 3 o'clock in the morning. We was like, "Wow, this is a bit naughty, man. We got to go." Like, I don't know how they do it. They go on for like 7.5 hour streams. But he kind of called me the King of London. It's just stuck.
Very cool. That's funny. This is great. Now, when you meet him, you've got to shake his hand and take his wallet.
Shake his hand, but check your wallet. Yeah, that's it. Or check your watch. Because it won't be on your wrist, mate. It'll be gone.
Do you remember what your first actual post was on Instagram that you ever did for this?
Yes. So my post was, it was a killing joke. It was a killing joke. And I remember posting it, and it was just a picture of the Joker. And I just wrote my review on it. And that came off the back. That was I think it was in either October or November of 2018. And that came off the back of the MCM Comic Con. And it was literally just a picture of me, not of me, a picture of the Joker in the Killing Joke, and I was just writing a review on it, and that was it. and then it kind of went from there. And I think it had it didn't even have this logo. It just had it was blue and yellow and white, and it had that Geeky Guy that reviews comics, and it took up half the bloody page, because an Instagram page is only like that.
Yeah.
But it took up half of it. And I was like, we got to sort this out. But yeah, it was about the Joker, one of the greatest comic books of recent times, I think.
Very cool. Yeah. No. How long were your reviews on all this stuff? When you wrote it out, obviously. Were you writing an essay, or were you paraphrasing?
Yeah, it was the max of how many characters I was allowed. And then I'd write it all out on notes, and then I'd drop it into Instagram, and it'd be like, you've gone over by 552 characters, you need to drop it back. And I'm like, okay. And then I'd have to spend time doing it, adjusting it. And then it just clicked that I should probably go onto Google, find out how many characters you're allowed in Instagram, and then just do the review to that.
Gotcha.
But it was because even as I was doing it, I was enjoying doing it, but I was like, I wouldn't want to go onto Instagram and read this. It's too long.
I see.
And it was just, I was getting bored of it. So I started to shorten it down. I'd do the overview of what it was about, give a little non-spoiler review, and give it a rating out of 5, and then put in some hashtags and stuff. But yeah, I want to get back to doing that. I really want to get back to doing the written reviews and stuff. We might have something coming up. Who knows? We're very busy over here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, especially with everything that comes out. What was your first YouTube video?
My first YouTube video was a promotional video for. Now it's kind of come full circle. So obviously, on the Killer Comic Show, we've had some great guests. We've had Ross Ritchie, John Jiang. We've had Katana Collins. We've had loads of guests. But when I first started my YouTube channel, the first post was me sitting in my work office going, "Hi YouTube, I'm Charlie, this geek that reviews comics. I just want to let you know that I've got something very special coming up this weekend." That was it. And I was like, okay. And it was shit. The editing was all done on my phone. It was crap. When my logo came in, it didn't even fit. And then that went on. It kind of worked its way out. And one of the first videos I put on there was me sitting down with Rio Anadito, who's from the artist from Hulk Marines. I literally went to his Airbnb, because he was over in the UK. All kind of weirdly worked out. I went and sat in his hotel room in the middle of London somewhere, and even my wife was like, "You don't know this guy. Why are you going to sit in his hotel room? Where is it?" She was like, "Keep your phone on, because if I don't hear from you, I'll have to find out where you are." And I literally sat down and was like, "So I'm here with Rio Anadito," and my phone was just set up there, and I'm talking to this guy. And that was probably the first Killer Comic Show, the first interview stuff. And then it's kind of gone full circle. That was one of the first videos, and now where we are now, I've got guests lined up. We've got Andy, Ben, all working hard getting the guests on, and it's a proper. I would say it's a proper setup now. We have the intros, we have the platform where we review the comics, we have the questions for the guests, we have the highlight of it, which is the peach of the week. If you haven't seen that, if anyone in the chat hasn't seen that, it's basically we talk about peaches of the week. Now it could be a male butt, it could be a female butt, or as Ben had a gorgeous rear end of a car from Transformers and My Little Pony this week. So it ranges. You don't know what's coming from the Killer Comic Show, and that's how we like to do it. We're real, and we just do it like that. That's it.
Yeah, I love the what is it? Who knows this knows? Is that what it is?
Who knows this knows? That's from Comic Deals, Panels and Pints. But that's another one. It's as random as anything. But it's who knows this knows, and the song is catchy as anything. Who knows this knows? Who knows this knows? It's wicked.
It's so good.
And when you're doing that at 10, 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, you're like, what's my life come to? I'm sitting here talking about noses. But it's great. It's wicked.
That's funny. I remember when Andy hosted it, and it's just so hard to watch, because he keeps such a straight face, and he was doing it to it was Sparks Comics, and he goes, "All right, Sparks, you ready?" And he straight face, not like I'm doing. And he's like, "Do you know whose nose this is?" And he pulls it up, and I was like, "What the hell? This is the hardest thing ever."
I think the only one I got, there was 7, and I think I got 2 of them, and one of them was Harley Quinn and the other one was Superman. But the other ones, I was like, I don't even, if someone was to show me a picture of my nose, I wouldn't know. I'd be like, whose nose? I don't know. Whose nose is that? I don't know whose it is.
That's so funny. Oh man, Andy's sparking the fire.
Who was your favourite, Ben or Tom? I'd have to say I'd take Ben first, and then when Ben's sleeping, I'd roll over to Tom.
There you go. One day, I'm telling you, you just got to message me and I'll set something up. I promise.
That's it there. That's your invite there, mate. That's
All
it.
right.
So you drop me some dates when you're free and we'll get you on. I'm
I
still
will.
waiting for my Geeky Guy to unwrap my present from the Christmas special. Now, if you haven't seen this, right?
I haven't.
Oh my God. So we did a Christmas special of the Killer Comics show, and I think there was about 10 of us on. The one and only Captain Comics rocks up in a full-blown Christmas present box.
Of course he does.
Oh my God. Like, I'm going to see if I get a screen grab and I'll send it to you. It is... No, I love Captain Comics. I love him. Like, he's such a great guy. And the fact he's just sitting there in his box. You've just seen his head coming out of a box, and it's fully wrapped as well. But he's awesome, and that's what I mean. Like, the community. Like, I've never really spoken to. I've never met you people.
Yeah.
But it's like we're talking now, like we've been friends for years, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to know, like this conversation now is like I've been talking to you like I've known you my whole life, kind of thing, And I say that every episode, but it's so true.
Yeah.
All right. So why do you create content? Why did you start doing those reviews? Why did you start going to YouTube with it?
It's a hard one, because I enjoy doing it. It's a hobby of mine. It's a pastime. I enjoy talking to people. Like, I probably talk to Ben, Andy, and Tom more than I talk to my wife on a daily basis. Like, if she's not in the house, it's one of them I'm messaging. It's one of them I'm talking to. And like, I can say it now, like, they've become 3 of my closest friends. And this has all started because of YouTube. And Andy's probably going to put up a little post in a minute saying, "I'm not crying, you're crying." Like, he will say that, right? See, and it's for the ladies, for the Thai boys.
Very cool.
Why not? But I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy sharing the stuff that, like, spreading the love. Like, I enjoy seeing what other people are posting. I enjoy reading other people's contents and stuff. And there's obviously someone out there that likes my content and likes what we're doing and stuff. So it's enjoyable.
Yeah,
it is enjoyable. It's a good pastime, and I'll tell you what, it's good for the mental health, man. Like, just to talk and get stuff out there. So, but I do, while we're here, I just want to give a massive shout out to Scott Shelf. He's another UK comic content creator and stuff, and he did a show last night for the Mind charity, which is like about mental health and everything like that.
Very
done
nice.
like an auction. He had done an auction. I think he's raised over 200 odd pounds. So that was great.
Awesome.
But, I mean, it's things like that, like where you used to go out and hand out leaflets and try and collect money and stuff. You've got the platform here to do it.
Yeah.
So I think everyone needs to embrace it, and it's going really well at the moment. And Andy's bawling his eyes out, so I'll have to send in some Kleenex in the post or whatever.
That's funny. No, I think your answer is perfect. So what is it that makes you, what pushes you to create more content? Is it seeing what everybody else is doing? Is it just getting to hang out with your friends at this point, like you said?
I think it's a bit of both, to be fair. Like, I enjoy giving back. I enjoy doing a community, because like my whole show on a Monday, the Top Comic Releases show, is obviously you can buy the preview magazines, you can go online to like League of Comics and stuff and find out what comics are coming out. But I kind of wanted to make it easy for people, so I put in all the effort. Clean tissues. dirty, innit? You're sidetracking me, mate. We agreed about this.
You see me starting to laugh and you go right to the comment. I read something you wrote.
I know. But my Top Comic Releases video, I enjoy doing that, because it helps people. Like, if you can't be bothered to sit down and write and like look at the comments that are coming out, you can just watch the video and write them down. Yep. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy like giving back to the community and stuff. With the Killer Comic show, I honestly think the main reason I do that is to spend time with Andy, Ben, and Tom, and all the guests that I have on, because it's enjoyable. It's wicked. The fact that you can talk to content creators, you can talk to co-publishers, you can talk to like CEO of comic shops and stuff, and businesses. You wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for YouTube.
Yep.
So the fact that we can do that, you'd be stupid not to embrace it and enjoy it. And I've said to these guys, I've said to my wife numerous times, as soon as it becomes non-enjoyable and it becomes more of a job, that's when I'm out. Like, as soon as I stop enjoying it, I'm not going to do it no more, because it's gone.
Yeah. Makes sense. Give a few shout outs. Let's see where this gets us.
We go to Captain Comics. Like, he's just like, to be fair, he's been one of my followers on Instagram for ages.
Yeah.
Like, he was there with like Rod the Recon, John's Comic with Kids. I think I mentioned before we went live, like the late Comic Jabroni. They was all the ones that kind of was like, you're doing great on Instagram. Push over to YouTube and do it. And I said to you, me sitting here, like, I can talk, I can have a laugh, I can have a banter, but me sitting there talking to a camera, looking at myself on the big screen, I was like, I can't do this. Like, it ain't for me. And the more and more I did it, the more and more comfortable I got. You got Andy, you got Ben. Obviously, I love them guys. You got Tom from Not Quite Mint, who is one of the nicest guys out there. With these other two, they are the great guys. You've got James Comic Deal, New Comics, Hydra Collectibles. There's so many people out there. It's just, I'm really looking forward to meeting them. And getting to know them at the Comic Cons and stuff like that. It is honestly awesome. And obviously, I've got a shout out to like Sparks Comics, Sif Lordley, yourself for having me on, for putting out like your videos on YouTube that you're putting out. Like, I love the fact that you put spoilers, and I can't help but watch. I'm like, you said a spoiler, but I do it on my Killer Comic show, so I've got to watch, and I do. I enjoy it.
Thank you. No, very cool. I appreciate it. I totally forgot to ask you this before. You said you went to, this was almost an hour ago. You said you went to Comic-Con dressed as Wolverine. Were you the yellow and blue suit or like the movie with the black suit?
No, so I kind of, if you see Ben's charity, Big Boy Bash Bonanza, I think I called it. It wasn't that. It was kind of like a comic relief bonanza. I literally, it was the Logan Wolverine thing. So I had the leather jacket on, I had the hair up, the beard, the dog tags, the cigar and stuff. I went as that, and I'm 5'8", so I'm the same size as Wolverine would be in the comics.
Okay.
And that kind of worked really well for me. And I went to Comic-Con. I went with my my brother-in-law who dressed up as Matt Smith's Doctor Who, and we looked really, really good. And we was getting like interaction and stuff, and I loved it. Because people were like, oh, it's Wolverine. And it was my first ever Comic-Con. Like, I'd never gone to a Comic-Con before. So the fact that like people were coming up to me wanting pictures with me, I felt like a little superstar. I was like, yeah, this is wicked. And I was having pictures with like X-Men and Batmans and stuff. And I was like, this is incredible. I love this. Awesome. It was wicked. And I loved it. And then I think the next Comic-Con I went as the Heath Ledger's Joker in the nurse's outfit. With like I had the scars and stuff, had the long green hair, getting on a train at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning in a dress in Croydon, mate. I'm lucky I made it to Comic-Con.
That's funny. That's crazy. That's too funny. Do you have any big goals for 2021? Whether it be like grails or a sub count, video content.
Do you know what I think? It's like. The Killer Comic Show is what I'm kind of putting everything into at the moment. Like, it's the top comic releases. It took me probably about 6 or 8 months to kind of get around to doing the format properly, like doing the intro video, then talking over the comics, and then doing an outro. Whereas I played around with it a few times. I did the setup where it was just me showing the comics or showing them on screen, saying this is what we've got coming up. And it was more effort. So I kind of thought it's easier for people to do that. But with the Killer Comic Show, I think we've got a great setup now. Like, we can go on to bigger and better things. And I think the more we keep doing it, the more we keep ticking over the guests we get in. And I'm not saying necessarily like well-known guests, like the artists and the publishers, getting people on, like people from the community, like yourself, Captain Comics, Spine Tits, getting people on like that, and just building a rapport with them and kind of just building it up and up and up. I think that it could, before you know it, it could just tail spin into something great. And that's what I'm really passionate about. And I think without these guys in the chat, I don't think I would have been able to do that. Because when on season 2, Charlie's so short, they nickname him Funko. Me and Batman are the same size. It's only because of the like perspex.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm really close, but if I sit like that, look, see, we're nearly enough the same size.
Yep.
But I love the way like Andy's saying that. I could probably put him. He's like put him in a little pocket.
There you go.
And he just shouts Scottish swear words at me throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. But, I like what you said about Killer Comic Show, because like I watch shows on TV, and I'm literally like, we have what's called DVR. It saves the show when you watch it here.
Mm-hmm.
I am so behind on it because I feel like every day of the week I have a show to watch on YouTube, and I'd rather be doing that, to be honest. Like, you know, I have Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays I shoot my own stuff. Then I watch, you know, Comic Burrito. Thursdays, you guys do it technically because of the time difference. I'm always at work, but I always try and catch up on it. Or like if I'm sitting around, I have a chance to check it out. So that's the thing. Like, I think that, you know, that's one of those shows. Like, I watch on Tuesdays, Lamer Frame every Tuesday at 8:00. I know I'm sitting in front of the computer and I'm hanging out on Lamer Frame. You know, when you, I can't keep a straight face, man. I should have banned him. You all right? You know, so it's like that thing where I think that Killer Comic Show, you know, I think that's the thing. That's the primetime show for Thursdays to me, you know? I get to come home and I can typically check that out. So that's the big thing.
But it is good because we was kind of playing around. Like when I first started it, it was me just literally, the whole concept of a Killer Comic Show was I would get one guest on and we would talk about what a Killer Comics was to them, what a Killer comic was to them, whether it came out, whether it was a recent comic that came out or whether it was one that they've got in their collection. What was a Killer comic to them? Was it, did Killer stand for the fact it was absolutely rubbish and it kind of turned them off that genre of comics? Or was it the fact that it was killer, as in it was absolutely amazing and made me want to read it more? But then when I kind of sat down and done a few episodes of it, I was like, this is becoming more. A Killer comic is becoming more than just talking about one comic. It's talking about 3 or 4 comics that we can review. And Ben came up with a great idea last week. The Killer comic, it was the Killer or Binner. So I think over the next couple of weeks, we're going to work on something. We're going to put our heads together and work on something. I'm probably going to get friction burn with trapped in between them two because obviously it's like a magnet and stuff. But we're going to talk about like how we can evolve that. Now, is it going to be a Killer comic? Is it going to be a Binner comic? Is it going to be a comic that you pick up and want to read? Or is it going to be a comic that you think, because we've had a few of them on the show.
Yeah, like it happens.
Batman Catwoman is definitely a Binner.
Okay.
Apart from the artwork, that's about it.
Yeah, I just keep reading it. I it's one of those things like Batman is just a story. Like I always pick it up just because, and I always say to myself, you can save this $4, and I don't. You know, yeah, man. Talk about your channel a little bit before we wrap it up.
Yeah, so obviously, Geeky Guy Comics is a review show that we do. We got comic releases coming up on a Monday. It's all about consistency with YouTube. So we've got 12 p.m. on my show is the top comic releases where we go through all the covers we've got coming out from Ablaze, Boom Studio, Dynamite, all the comic publishers out there. We touch on every single variant when they're coming out. Some of them fluctuate because they drop in and drop out when, like Diamond, as usual, don't meet the distribution quota and stuff. And then on a Thursday, we have the Killer Comic Show. Where obviously we get guests on, we review comics. We try to make it spoiler friendly, but sometimes you can't do that because you can't. We've got spoiler warnings that pop up and everything like that. But if you want to tune into the show and you don't read it, just put us on mute for 5 minutes. That's what we've got to do. But it's really good. We've got a really good setup now. So obviously you got Ben who releases his videos on Sunday at 5 p.m. that he'll do his covers of the week, and they are so funny. Like I look forward, and I'm not just saying one because he's in the chat, two because he's my mate, but there's not much on YouTube that I enjoy watching, and I look forward to this every Sunday at 5 p.m. and it works really well because he'll do that. Then you've got my show on a Monday, and then you've got the Killer Comic Show on a Thursday, and then you've got Andy's Instagram and his impromptu shows on YouTube, and then he drops in his FOC Instagram post as well. So it all kind of works well. We've got a real good team going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's so cool to have found you guys, you know, because you know I never typically realized where anybody is from when I started really getting into it more, and then to see where that is, I'm like, this is really cool that, you know, on the other side of the world or whatever, you know, this is going on everywhere. So pretty sick.
No, it is good. It is good. I mean, it's interesting to how did you? I'm going to flip the question around and I'm going into interview mode now. How did you kind of get into it?
I started on Instagram in I want to say it was early 2019, and I was just like posting pictures from comics that I liked because I was reading my books and then I would post them on my story, but that was on like my personal Instagram, and I was like, nobody's even looking at this, like nobody cares. And then I went and I changed it and made a comic book Instagram, and within minutes, you know, all of a sudden it was like I found so many other people to follow and they were following me, and I was like, this is great. So I started using when Instagram was doing their live stuff. They still do it now, but it's like tamed because we were we were like doing these videos. Like I shot my first ever. We used to call it Nintendo, and me and my brother sat and we talked about The Walking Dead for like 2 hours. And I'm always pissed about it because we don't have any of it saved. Instagram like set up, oh, do you want to save this video? And you would hit save. Never save. Like they were just working through it at the time.
No.
And so I have the second one and this and that. And then I got more into posting like just daily on Instagram, and I was doing like a daily challenge, and then I stopped doing that because then I was like digging through for all my books, and like to move my stuff around is just a little annoying. But then I was like, oh, I wonder what the YouTube world is like. And I was watching people on YouTube because I would see like Just Rican and his comics. He would post on his Instagram, check out this YouTube video, and I would. And then I was like, all right, this is getting to, this is pretty cool. So then I just started showing my videos on like books I would pick up and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it went down. So, and here I am now, you know. I had a few times where I was like ready to stop, like you were saying, when it becomes more of a job. But it wasn't a job thing for me. It was more of like I was just kind of getting bored of myself with it, but I wasn't going to stop reading comics. And then I kept watching other people's shows and like getting invited to channels, and I was like, you know what? Like this is so much fun that I'm going to just stick to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's great. I'm glad you did stick to it because honestly, this has probably been one of the best shows that I've been on. Like,
very cool. Thank you, man. Thank you
so much for having me on. And we've had the Chuckle Brothers in the chat, and they've been a laugh. So it's been wicked. Honestly, thanks for having me on, and we will definitely get you in the Killer Comic Show. I'd love to.
Absolutely, man. I'd love to. Also, I got to just schedule it, man. My last question for you.
Yes.
Why Geeky Guy Comics?
It's pretty simple. I'm a geeky guy that loves comics. I was that geeky guy that reviews comics, but no, that's it. I'm a geeky guy that loves comics. That's it. It should have been Cockney geeky guy who loves comics, but no, Geeky Guy Comics. That's cool. It. Pretty simple. That's it. That is it. Geeky Guy Comics. Geeky guy who loves comics. Done. Dusted. Thank you very much.
It has good flow, you know. When I think of it, it's just Geeky Guy Comics, you know.
It does. So, it does.
You know, it doesn't. It's not too long where you fumble over it or anything, but that's just how it goes. So,
are we still talking about the name?
Yeah. That's funny. All right, man. Thank you so much for being here. This was an awesome,
thank you
awesome
so much.
talk, man. Great. You guys in the chat are amazing. Cap and Burrito, Attention Seeking Geek, Andy. Who did I miss? Nick. Both Nicks. There were 3 Nicks in here tonight. I didn't even realize that because Nick's Kicks and Comics was in here for a while. Yeah. But seriously, you guys are just the best, and I'm so happy. Wait until I get Attention Seeking Geek on here. I bet you're gonna fire right back at him, man. So very 100%. Excited for that.
I'm gonna be there. But mate, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great day. Stay safe. Enjoy your comics.
Cheers.